Okay, so today we're going to deep dive into something pretty interesting. I think you brought some sources that point to kind of surprising shift in how millennials are being seen.
Yeah, for a while it seemed like millennials were always kind of the punching bag generation. Older generations thought they were entitled, and Gen Z thought they were, true G, as they say.
Yeah, exactly like the avocado toast stereotype and the whole live, laugh, love thing.
Right, exactly. But now it seems like the tides are turning.
So the mission for this deep dive is to kind of understand like what's going on. Why is Gen Z suddenly developing this like newfound appreciation for millennials?
I think one way to think about it is that millennials are like the middle child of generations. They've gotten it from both sides.
Yeah, like stuck in between.
And, they're the ones who came of age during like the rise of social media and the 2008 recession, so they've kind of been through the ringer.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think one of the biggest reasons for this shift is just the nature of trends. Like everything is cyclical, what's old is new again.
Totally. And I think you see that really clearly with some of the examples in these sources, like skinny jeans are back.
Yeah, I know, right? Like just a few years ago, everyone was saying skinny jeans were dead, and now they're all over the 2024 runways for both women and men. Even Prada and Raf Simons are showing them.
It's crazy. And it's not just fashion either. Like the TV show Girls is having a major resurgence,
Right.
and that show is like peak millennial.
Yeah, exactly. It first aired back in 2012, and now it's getting tons of streams, and there are even new podcasts dedicated to discussing it.
It's like Gen Z is discovering this whole world that they missed out on, and they're kind of romanticizing it.
Yeah, like a nostalgia for a time they didn't even live through.
Exactly. And we see this nostalgia in the music scene too, like with the whole indie sleaze revival.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Bands like The Dares are blowing up. They've been on the Grammys. They even won a Brit Award.
And then there's that New York DJ trio FF Puckers who like blew up on
Oh,
TikTok.
yeah. I saw that post from that Gen Z user who was like, I wish I was a millennial working at ID or Vice during the prime of Twitter writing listicles.
It's so funny, right? Like they're longing for this like very specific moment in internet history.
Yeah, and I think this actually ties into a really interesting point that Ione Gamble made on the Polyester podcast. She was talking about how the millennial era of the internet felt like a time where you could get famous for nothing.
I remember that episode.
Yeah, like she uses Tavi Gevinson as an example. She went from like a fashion blogger to a writer, an actor, a magazine editor. Like, she went from online famous to actually famous.
That's true. I feel like there was this sense of like anything is possible back then.
Right. And I think Gen Z maybe sees that and feels like there was more opportunity back then.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely a different landscape online.
For sure.
So the article you brought ends with some pretty thought-provoking questions like, has it gotten so bad for Gen Z that they're idolizing a generation that they used to make fun of?
It's interesting to think about, right? Like, is there just this natural, like, pull between generations?
Yeah, and I think the author makes a good point that millennials are definitely enjoying this newfound appreciation.
Oh, yeah. They're like, finally, we're getting some respect.
Exactly right. So what's the big takeaway for you from all of this?
I think what we're seeing is a really interesting shift in how these generations perceive each other. And it's being driven by a lot of factors like the fast pace of trends, a sense of nostalgia for a different time, even maybe a little bit of envy.
It really is fascinating, and it makes you think about your own relationship with the generations before and after you. Like, what do you find intriguing about them? What do you maybe envy a little?
It's a good question for everyone to think about, like, what will future generations find interesting about us?
Yeah, like what will be the skinny jeans of our generation?
Exactly, food for thought.
Thanks for diving deep with us.
Of course, it's always a pleasure.
And to all our listeners out there, keep thinking, keep exploring, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.